Hi, friends, and welcome to the Voices of MCC podcast. My name is Todd. I am one of the pastors at MCC, and I am here with some dear friends, Ethan and Bernaette Anderson, Jim and Diane Langdon, and we are here to think about marriage and life in the local church, what it means to be husband and wife and participate fully in ministry. We have couples here who have been married very different lengths of time, and hopefully that will help us to think about marriage. So, welcome, Ethan and Bernaette. Want to start with you here. Tell us, how long have you been at MCC, and what ministries do you participate in?
Yeah, so I've been at MCC my entire life. I've attended since 2 weeks after I was born, so it's been amazing just to see the so many ups and downs, a lot of ups, and just to see God's faithfulness over the years at MCC. But officially, I've been a member for about 8 years now. And I'll pass it off to Bernaette.
I believe I started attending in 2021, but I didn't become a member until 2023, just a couple months before we got married. And I was baptized then. So that was pretty sweet to do and have so much love and community around. Yeah. And
Yes, amen. And Bernadette, it seems like you've been there much longer. It seems like when someone gets married, it seems like you've been here all your life, like Ethan has all of his life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jim and Diane, how about you? How long you been at MCC? Well, let me actually jump back here. Ethan and Bernadette, what ministries do you participate in at MCC?
Yes, so I help with a lot of the tech ministry and music ministry as well. I jump back and forth between, and then both of us serve in the nursery, and I'm sure Bernadette can explain a little more of her role there, just being available and ready to help.
having a kid makes it really easy to serve because I get to hang out with her back there a little bit of the time. But yeah, just nursery for now. I'm a very shy person, so it's taken me a lot of strength and courage to do a couple other things. But I have a lot of encouragement coming up into ministries in the future.
Yes, and a joy to see your service now, both of you, even together, encouraging so many folks and participating so faithfully. Jim and Diane, how about you? Tell us about your participation at MCC, ministries that you're involved in.
Okay, well, we started in 2005, so we've been there about 20 years, which is incredible. Went so fast. In the past, I do nursery now. My health has been a little bit shaky, so I hate to commit to anything. But in the past, I've done Walkworthy and nursery, and I've subbed for sometimes for the kids who are teaching, and I think, is that it?
Sounds right.
Okay.
And for me, I've worked as a greeter. I'm a facilities deacon with Sky Singleton. We've enjoyed the church for its good teaching and good fellowship, and just the wonderful attitude that everyone that goes there has, and how the church is just so full of love and willing to help one another. So that's been a big blessing for us.
Let's think about marriage and ministry. Jim and Diane, how long y'all been married?
40 plus.
A long time.
40 plus years.
Yep.
Love it.
Yep.
Love it. You act like newlyweds sometimes, so it's hard to know.
It's true.
4 years, and you've been at MCC over 15.
Yeah. Yeah, 20, I
Let's
think.
yeah,
Yeah.
getting close to 20
Yeah.
years. So almost half of your married life.
Mhm. Wow.
How how has church fellowship strengthened your marriage? How has just regular participation in the life of the local church and serving in ministry, your members, how does that strengthen your love for one another as husband and wife, the roles that you have in leading and following?
Well, I think we have wonderful examples at the church. We have many couples that have been married at least as long as we have, some quite a bit longer. And it's just good to see the care that's shown for one another. Um, the leadership which you mentioned, that's always a wonderful issue. The man is supposed to be the leader, even in the tough times. And just having a companion, a helpmate, and someone that cares for you when you're at your best and tolerates you all the other times. Wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Yes. And you mentioned there folks who have been married 40 years, and we have a few of those in our church, some even longer than that. And seeing them love one another and examples of what that is, examples of men who lead and women who follow, and what that's like in developing a culture. Ethan and Bernadette, just a few years of marriage here and dating before that, but then marriage here as a part of MCC. How has church fellowship strengthened your marriage here in these early years?
Yeah, well, I think I mean, for me, just from my perspective, I really don't see any way to be married outside of the church. Um, it's just such a foundational part of everything we do. I mean, we can both say our lives revolve around church and what we do there. We're just so connected in so many ways. But I think just for church fellowship, seeing the um, just as Jim was saying, marriages that already work really well and have for years and years, seeing that picture. But then beyond that, just seeing the relationship between different individuals um, at church. You mentioned Sunday morning. It's a place of people that in any other life context um, would never interact. You know, there are people who you'd see on the street and be like, I don't really feel like talking to this person right now or whatever, you know. And then in the context of a church, though, you have the centrality of Christ in the middle of everything you do. That's what drives everything. And um, just seeing how that influences people's interactions and how you can take two people that wouldn't normally interact um, and as you had mentioned might not necessarily like each other, but they love each other. They really do truly have a love and connection just through Christ. And then over time they do begin to like each other, and they do you know begin to develop um, connections that go just so much deeper than just some random person you see on a Sunday morning. And so seeing that and applying that to marriage, now here's somebody I do like in every way, and yes, but someone I want to be around, I do like, and there's all these different things, and then to add to that is see the service that um, other members are performing for one another, and the kind of that self-sacrificial kind of service, and using that and trying to emulate that just within our own marriage, to where um, I'm I'm trying my hardest, and I know I fail a lot at it, but to put her needs above my own, and vice versa.
Ethan, you mentioned that idea right there, putting your wife's needs above your own. And that call on a man from Scripture to lead in a sacrificial way, and for a woman to follow, to trust her husband's leadership and trust God ultimately. Both of those roles, the husband leading and loving, the wife submitting and following, both of those are difficult. And it's fellowship in the local church that can help men and women in their roles, because they look around in a local church and can see examples of that, as Jim mentioned, and they can find strength, just general spiritual camaraderie, to fulfill the specific roles that God has for us in Christ together. Bernaette, want to hear from you just a minute, thinking as well about the strength the local church provides for you as a wife. Any reflections that might help our friends listening?
Oh, yeah. I think that growing up the way I did and not necessarily having a community, and then just absolutely shifting the narrative and having so much strength behind our marriage has made it so easy to be a submissive wife and do my marital duties and help where I can, just because I see how much genuine love there is around. Having other women and other mothers um, around to talk about any needs and uplift each other. It's just been really awesome to have a community within MCC where you're not alone and you're all connected so deeply with your faith. That has been really awesome, and I've never really had that anywhere else. It's something that I hold very near and dear in my heart, and it is really helpful in marriage to know that whatever you're struggling with, you're not alone. And yeah, just
We
it's
never
really
struggle with anything, so that's
Ah,
kind of hard. But
it does appear that you have that newlywed glow here still going after a couple of years, but there's a day coming. Oh, I love it. Uh, Jim and Diane, 20-ish years at MCC, 20 years before that married. Let's just think about the most recent 20, thinking about your service at MCC and participation together. You sacrifice a lot for the church. You're not advertising that. I'm saying it. I've seen it. I have experienced it. Uh, Sacrificing, sometimes people will think, I don't want to sacrifice my own life or my own marriage for other people. That doesn't sound fulfilling to give generously, or to give in such a way that would inhibit my freedom and my autonomy, and my things are my things. But you have done that sacrificially. How has that affected your marriage? How has going the extra mile in ministry service, Jim, being sort of on call at times in the building, or helping other people? I've seen it sacrificially. Your generosity in so many ways. How has that impacted your marriage?
I think it's a blessing for me. I have so much more time than other people, and if I can serve in some way that somebody else is blessed, I mean, that's so much the better. Diane's very generous, and that she lets me go to the church whenever I need to. Um, I don't forget her needs, though. I make sure that she has everything she needs, and it's just fortunate the way it worked out, uh, because I get the blessing by doing things for the church or for some of the people. You mentioned in some of your sermons that the most important relationship is the vertical one, the one that leads to God. And then when that one's in line, the horizontal can fall into place where we serve others and show God's love.
Yes, and I have found I've seen it in so many folks that that kind of commitment together in marriage actually strengthens your marriage, and that's the irony that giving and serving together actually does strengthen your marriage. Uh, when you look back, Jim and Diane here, after 40 years, what are some maybe common temptations that couples younger than you might face? Maybe it's couples married 10 years, 20 years. What are common temptations they might face, and how can church fellowship help them to resist those temptations?
I think one of the things that was just always a blessing is that we've always been on the same page when it comes to rearing the kids, and that comes a a lot from what we have seen at church, what we have learned at church, and it's that's been a true blessing, is to be parents and to be grandparents and to preach God to our family. We've got, family, and people outside of our marriage notice that. They notice that we are on the same page on so many things. And that took time. That took a lot of time.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's an
So
important point.
unity,
Uh,
yeah,
if you're
unity
not,
together is, yeah, go ahead, Jim.
yeah, if you're not determined to have your way all the time, that makes life so much better. I think in things that are insignificant, like well, what color are we going to paint the room? Just just yield. It's not that important. But the things that are important, like how are we going to raise these kids? Uh, how much time are we going to spend with friends, family, church? All that's majorly important.
Yes, the temptations toward selfishness that can come upon all of us, the church helps to inhibit those and to center us where we need to be so that we can thrive.
Yeah, agreed.
And we were fortunate enough too. We made friends with some folks at church that a lady lost a husband, and she had a teenage boy at the time, uh, and we still keep up with them. I think that's a responsibility of a married couple, just to keep track of those that are
Suffering.
less fortunate or suffering.
Mm, yeah.
Yes, and we see the strength that the church can provide us in those relationships.
Hmm.
Ethan and Bernadette, in your marriage here, early years, how has church fellowship helped you to resist temptation?
Well, we have immediate accountability. Um, I think there are amazing couples like the Langdons at church that um, just seeing, as they're saying, seeing how they've reared children and how they've maintained a marriage relationship. When those difficult times come where um, I want my way, she wants hers, whatever it may be. We have that immediate accountability from people who love us, and it's not just um, it's not just somebody saying that we ought to rethink the way that we do married couple things just out of some kind of utility. It's really truly because people love us, and um, that relationship goes both ways. So I think just the accountability that we have from every angle, and sometimes it comes from single people too. I mean, I think there's sometimes a perspective that even singles in church have that we don't, um, uh, and things they can remind us, what it was like when we were uh, still dating or before that, and where we are now, and to not get discouraged and things like that.
I think your comment there, Ethan, is apt. We have accountability all the time, and that accountability can come from even singles, can come from someone who's not in your same stage or situation of life. Because, as Jim mentioned earlier, it's the vertical that's ultimate. And we see them following Christ. We have made a confession of faith publicly in joining the church that we want to follow. That's ultimate. Vertical's ultimate, and we are accountable to that together. We hold ourselves open, and that then provides us strength in our homes because it's God who is the strength of our marriages and lives. Friends, I thank you, Andersons and Langdons here, for taking time to think about marriage and be open yourselves at an early stage, and then after decades, Langdons, and the example that both of you couples are to our church and the strength you provide. Thank you so much for taking the time to help us think about marriage and ministry, the mutual benefits for the church and for our homes. I also want to thank Alex Volkman for producing the Voices MCC podcast. Ethan's dad, Adam, leads the Masters Chorale at our church, and Caleb Sheffield providing musical introductions and conclusions. Thank you so much, friends, for being with us. I want to encourage you to check out other Voices of MCC podcasts on the website or on your favorite podcast app. Until next time, Lord bless you.